How can you go wrong with these goofy woolly buggers? Boy, we catch everything with them. And the fact that we still got a little bit of a egg bite going on, doesn't hurt if they have a chartreuse bead. It's been kind of cold for a while. We haven't done a fishing update, even though we've been trying to do a little bit of fishing. Rick's been doing some fishing on the salmon, and so has George. I've been chasing a few brown trout. But it's been kind of cold, and up until just recently, we got a warming trend. But until then, we've been doing a lot of fly tying, and starting to, the fly tying season's starting for us. But anyways, figured I'd do a report and give a little update on what's going on, considering that we got a little warming trend coming, and we do have some river conditions to contend with. But anyways, I'm sitting here, not outside, in my fly tying area. And as you can tell, it's a mess. I mean, one of the most disorganized corners of the universe is one's fly tying desk. Everything ends up in a horrible pile. Well, anyways, I'll get on with the fishing. I do have a couple announcements to make first. In my last update, I asked people for ideas what you'd like to see for upcoming videos and like tech tips and stuff like that. I got some great suggestions. Thank you. There's a couple of them that we are going to be working on that were really good. Still got hats, and believe it or not, sitting right here, fly boxes. We still got a few of those kicking around. So if you need to, just get a hold of me through my personal email at jpegguides.com. It's in Gmail, jpegguides@gmail.com. Geez, I can barely remember my own Gmail account email address these days. Must be tying too many flies. But anyways, what's going on with the fishing? Oh, and the rest of the announcement. So thanks for the suggestions. It is December. January, we're going to open up our books for bookings for next year. So for you guys want to do steelhead fishing, the salmon fishing for the following year, we'll be putting our calendars and start scheduling everything. So we'll be starting at the 1st of January. Any of you guys that's been fishing with us in the past would like to get on, give us a call right now. We do like to let our return people have a little bit of a shot at getting their dates squared away before everybody comes piling on. So January, our books are going to be officially open for everybody. All you return people, as you know, give us a call as soon as you can. We'll get you your dates. So that's basically the announcements. Now to what you really want to know. What's going on with the fishing? As this report is going up right now, the Salmon River is at 2200 release, about 2700 CFS at the Pineville gauge. It is high. We got some weather coming in, some rain hitting the area. A combination of probably about an inch and a half of rain is going to hit the watershed, with about 6 to 10 inches of snow on top of it with some snow melt. So it's going to get juicy. That's why the gates are open and the river's flowing pretty wild. They're just making room in the reservoir. There's some water coming after them. How it's going to be in the next few days after this report goes up, as always, I would check the gauge. I would check safe water, check the Pineville gauge, and just this time of the year, being December through the winter, you got to take it almost on a per trip. I'm planning on going up, check the conditions before you go type of deal. Water flows this time of year, especially the way the weather is right now, is not very stable, so things can fluctuate quite wildly up and down. The up and downs are not bad, because when we get a pulse of water like this, it'll pull fresh steelhead in. So the chances are we're getting a little slug of fish right now as we're talking. The river was at 750 for a couple of weeks, and Rich and George had some pretty decent fishing on the Salmon River. The DSR was kind of producing a small handful of fish, and the upper river, the fly zones, has got a nice jag of fish in there, but they're a little crabby, normal for steelhead up there. And the fishing pressure is definitely a little heavier in the upper part of the river. In the lower river, it's lighter. And of course, those fish just move through the lower river. But anyways, the steelhead fishing has improved up until this pulse of water. So it wasn't great, but it was better than what it has been. The flies that they've been getting them on has been a mix of everything. Some small intruders swinging. Rick likes to swing. He's pick a few fish up. George down at the bottom of the river has been getting a few swings, some buggers, and once again the little intruder type stuff, the mini skirt flies and egg flies. It's been a mix of what's going on. You know, one day we'll get them on egg flies, next day we'll pick a few fish up swinging, the next day it's stone flies, so it's been a mix. The bottom end of the river, pre-water flow increase, it was a morning fish. Real weird. You wouldn't think so, but it's like at release time until about mid-mornings when all the activity's been happening. After that, it's been a hard grind through the day, through the DSR and the bottom end of the river. With the 2200 CFS, no, quick note, the 2200 CFS releasing, the DSR is closed. The DSR is closed when the water flows from the dam are over 2000 CFS. So the Douglaston is closed right at the moment. Once again, check your water flows. If the release is below 2000, DSR will be open, but you're going to be dealing with some high water. In high water, always look for those inside soft seams. That's usually where the fish are going to congregate, and that's where we can fish most effectively. So in this high water, be very careful. Don't wade too far out. Very often the fish are close to shore anyway. So one of the things we do in this kind of water, very often we're only wading ankle deep and we're fishing those inside edge seams. So a little tip on dealing with the high water. Upriver, it's more of a mid-morning, mid-afternoon bite, and once again, this includes the lower fly zone. Of course, the upper fly zone is now closed, so it's just the lower fly zone that's open. It's going to be kind of a mid-morning to mid-afternoon bite, and it's going to be a play with it day. Go out, try some egg flies. You might get an egg bite. They might want nymphs. They might, they're shifting onto stones now, so there could be a really mix. You might be able to pick some fish up on a swing. This water comes down, we could have some new fish up there, and we might have a couple days where we can be successful swinging flies in the lower fly zone and in the upper river. As those fish sit there, they get keyed more into bugs, and so that's what we're going to start to see. Obviously, we're going into our winter patterns. So that's pretty much what's going on with the salmon. Obviously, the water's closed. You're going to have to pay very close attention to the water flows when you go up there, because they're going to fluctuate quite wildly. I wouldn't be surprised a week after this post is being up that the water levels are going to settle back down, because it looks like we're going into a warm, dry-ish week. So that's going to be what you're going to need to now just check on those flows and carry lots of flies, because you just don't know exactly what they're going into. We've been having a hard time trying to nail those fish down to a Pacific pattern. Western New York, the brown trout waters, we still got good water. The fishing is hit and miss. Some days you go out, we'll find a few fish. Some days we'll go out and we'll have a good day. The fish are definitely going to the brown trout are going to a post-spawn behavior. The egg bite is still good, but now they're starting to hunt down for meat. So we're starting to swing some streamers and getting some streamer action on some hungry post-spawn brown trouts. But it's still a coverage game. A lot of water in our creeks and rivers out here, so the fish are really spread out. So we're not going into one spot and catching a lot of fish. We're having to cover a lot of water, move around, and it is one of those, you'll have a couple of tough days and a great day, then a couple of tough days and a great day, but it's very typical for this time of the year. And we're starting to see some rainbows and steelhead starting to move into our waters out here, in our brown trout waters. The flies we're using, we're still staying with the egg patterns. This time of year, if all of you that's fished with me or know me well enough, I love white zonkers for brown trout. So that's pretty much what we're doing here with the browns. So that's pretty much in the nutshell what's going on with the fishing. We're definitely setting into our winter patterns. Just keep in mind, I always say conditions can and do change quickly. Over the next couple of weeks, that's what's going to happen. We've got a warming trend coming in. That's going to really change things. We come out of that warming trend, we're going to go into a cold snap, and it's going to be a crash in water temperatures and a sharp change in the fishing thing. So you're going to want to pay attention to all your, everything that's going on. But I think this coming week is probably going to be a pretty decent fishing week if water flows will allow us to do it. We're obviously, salmon's really high in water, so if that drops, that could fish really good. We're talking some 40s. That's going to be kind of comfortable. We might actually get a positive bump in the water temperature and get some fish a little bit grabby and chasey. So we got a potential for a for an okay week coming up. Actually, probably a good week of December fishing. So that's kind of what's going on. Watch your water flows, and watch your water temperatures, and just check your conditions before you go out, and carry lots of egg flies, lots of nymphs, and lots of zonkers. So that's pretty much what's going on. Right now, I can't think of anything else more exciting, other than the fact that we are definitely getting into fly tying season and starting to tie a lot of stuff. Once again, if there's any fishing tech thing you'd like to see, you got an idea for a video, put that down in the comments. I would love to hear any ideas. Remember, folks, this YouTube channel is for you as much as it is for us. In fact, it's more for you than for us. So what you'd like to see, we would like to provide for you. So as always, don't forget the little subscribe button and hit the bell icon, so that when you make a suggestion for a video and we make it, you'll know it's up. And if you get a chance, get on the water. We got some nice weather coming up, and good fishing to everybody. See you on the water. This is Jay at JPEG Guides and Lost River Fishing. We are a year-round fly fishing catch and release guide service. We fish the Lake Ontario tributaries, and then during the spring and the summer we also fish the inland trout streams, classic dry fly fishing. During the heat of the summer, we will do the warm water fishing for bass and pike. If you're interested in any of our outings or have any questions, please feel free to email us at fish@lostriversfishing.com. Hope to hear from you, and if you have any questions, feel free to contact us.